La Bosh. Hi, I'm Steve from 1233D. Today we are going to talk about Z-seams. And that isn't a zip seam. You got them on your jeans.
Oh, just a zip.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting topic and probably something that's quite heavily overlooked on a lot of newbies slicing. We read all manner of reports. Why have my print covered in these little blobs everywhere? What is this line? Blah, 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 blah. So we thought it would be educational to address the subject, give you guys some context as to how to minimize the appearance of your Z-seam, and we will provide results of different types of Z-seam orientation. No matter what you do, with this FDM technology, you are always going to have a Z-seam. It is part and parcel of the process. You need a start point and an end point. The only exception to this, and it is the only exception, when you print in vase mode, because vase mode, the actual layer is continuous throughout the print, albeit one wall thick. So that is the only exception to the rule. There are ways to hide it and mask it. You can hide it with fuzzy skin. So our job as the slicer is to basically tell the software where we want this to be and how we would like it to be orientated to make it less visible and give you the results that you are looking for. So I have opened up Orca Slicer and I have just put in the obligatory benchy because it's quick and easy to print and it will be an ideal use case for this video. So without further ado, we will dive straight in. As you can see, I have my slicer open. In this instance, I'm using Orca Slicer. Other slicers are available. Steps that I will cover in this video will be transitional to other slicers. They may be named slightly differently, but obviously the premise is exactly the same. So, as you can see, I have my main page open. I have my options down the left-hand side of the screen, and under quality, if you scroll down a little bit, you come to seam. So, defaultly, seam is set in Orca Slicer to aligned. I will quickly press the slice button, and you can see we have sliced. Now, you may well wonder what these little white lines are. They are your Z-seam lines. So aligned, if I hover over it, will it give me an explanation? Is basically start and stop position for the outer wall. And it's not just the outer wall, you only see it on the outer wall. It will happen on every wall or infill layer or whatever. But from your point of view, you see the outside wall, as does everybody else. So that is the most critical part to try and address, should you be able to do so. There we have aligned. I will change it to nearest and I will reslice again so you can see the difference again. Now nearest, we've got dots pretty much all over the place. It's staggered the seams a lot more, as you can see. Now, in some applications, this is fine. In this application, I wouldn't want to use it because ultimately it will give the whole of your benchy the appearance that it has developed acne. There'll be lots of little blisters and blobs where the seam has basically started and stopped. Now I will go to align back and I will slice it again. So as you can see, there is my benchy boat face on, and it has basically tried to hide all of the seams on the back side, which is great while it's on the build plate, but when you actually take it off the build plate and you look all around the model, then it becomes a problem. Probably not where you want it to be. To back, which will wholeheartedly situate the whole seam along the back of the print. As you can see again, down that corner, down the side of the door, down the hull and the bow, the hull, the bow. The bow's the front. I'm not a sailor. Shiver me timbers. So yeah, you can see it's basically hidden everything to the back. Now, the last option we have is random. Now, a lot of people that I've seen try this and they set it on random, but I haven't got a solid line. And that is absolutely right. You don't have a solid line, but what you do now have is lots of little spots, as you can see, all over your printed item, which is not nice. This would be an ideal setting if you were going to use fuzzy skin, because you would hide all of those within the fuzzy skin. But we have more options.
Sorry to interrupt, I'm Steve from the future. Just to let you guys know, we do have a website to fulfill all of your 123 3D printing needs. So if you haven't done so already, please do check out the link in the description where you can have a browse across our whole product range. And if you're outside the UK, please don't forget to check out our sister stores. We have these based in the Netherlands, in Ireland, and also in Sweden. Back to the video.
So in Orca, as a prime example, we can paint the seam on. So up here, you can see seam painting. So if I click on seam painting, I will put a seam here. Straight down that corner. Where else can we go? I think that would be a good point there. So we'll go down this back portion as well, and I'll probably do that corner because that may well be a seam. And then on the chimney, a bit problematic because it's a circular item, cylindrical. So you're going to be stuck however you try and orientate that really. I will just do it down the back side of there as well. Now, if I slice now, you can see it is speckled that out all on the chimney. We've now got the Z-seam down that corner and it's hidden it into that corner there and down the front of the boat. So typically that would be, if I was to be really picky about how I wanted to try and hide the seam on this particular model, this is probably how I would do it. I will just, we've got PLA set even though it says PLA matte, but I will export this and we will print this out. So the downloads, I will rename it Benchy Paint on Seam. We'll print that one out. It'll give you guys a better visual representation of what we're actually achieving by changing these little bits and pieces. Now, I will set it back to the default setting, which is aligned, and aligned does a pretty good job, as you can see. Let me first off remove the painting because it has automatically assumed. Basically, if you do any seam painting, it will override what you have set in the zoom position. So to do that, you just click on erase all painting and it will put it back. So I'll slice that one, and as you can see, it's aligned it all. So we've got down the back side, we've got inside the bow there, we've got that little bit down the chimney, and it's tried to hide the rest of it inside the benchy boat. So I will again export this benchy aligned, and I shall save that one. And I think the last one, to give you guys a really good idea of what random produces, is do a random one as well, because this is probably the most common one that I do see with people complaining about print quality and print finish. And this is the reason why. You will have the zoom's position set to random. So I'll export that again. I will rename this one Benchy Random. A random benchy. We'll save that. Now, in Orca Slicer, you do have a beta function as well. Quite a nice feature, to be fair. So here, you can see we have options here for what is classed as scarf joint seam. Now, we've currently got this set to 0, to none. Now, what scarf joint is, it's an actual construction term. Basically, I'm quite familiar with scarf joints in carpentry and joinery. It's the joint that you use to basically join two long lengths of timber together in a structural manner that's going to give the joint optimal strength but keep everything in a straight line. This is no different in Orca Slicer. So I've clicked on contour and apply scarf joint to only to smooth perimeters where traditional seams are not concealed. So basically, when you've got a large open area that it's very hard for you to actually hide the seam on a corner of the item or whatever else, this is an ideal option. What it will basically do is it will extrude less material to form, i.e. a ramp, until it gets to the actual layer height that it's printing for that layer. And then when it finishes that layer, it will do the reverse, thus giving a triangular interlocking section, which should make the Z-seam less visible. So I will check that box. We've got an angle threshold there. I'll leave that at default. As you can see, it's 155 degrees. And I will leave all of the other settings as they are at this point in time. And I will slice to give you guys a bit of a look. Now, as you can see, we have peppered the benchy with loads of little dots again. Now, these are the start and end points of your actual scarf joint, if you like. So I will pretty much proceed and export this as a scarf joint seam, so we can view the different results between this and the random option that we had. These settings are fully tweakable. You can mess around with them. My only advice to you would be run a couple of test prints at various settings. You're looking for the optimal transitional point between under extrusion and over extrusion. Once you get that balance right, that seam should pretty much disappear. So there is going to be a little trial and error involved in this process, but if it's something that you are producing constantly, it is 100% worth spending the time to do that, to get the best out of you, obviously your print quality, to make that less visible. It aids with all kinds of things. You know, if you're printing an item out for a cosplay prop, a helmet or whatever, yes, you're going to sand it. So you can sand the seam away. But if you can alleviate as much of that seam before you even get to that stage as possible, that's going to save you work down the road. So definitely worth considering doing that if that is the route that you want to take. So I will name this one Benchy Scarf. I've sliced 4 benches, as you've seen, all from the same model. I've applied different seams to each of the models. What we will do is we will go away, we will print those out, and I will show you the results once they have completed. I picked benches because they're relatively quick to print, so we can churn them out quickly. And obviously they'll all be printed the same material, same colour, just with different seam orientations. You do have more options if it's a problem, or no, not so much a problem, but if it's a concern and you want to alternate the internal seams or stagger them internally, you absolutely can do staggered internal seams, as you can see here. And we've got obviously the seam gap is defaultly set at 10% of the overall layer height. I never touch that. I find default works as it is, but I do know that some beginners will go in and just like play with all the settings and try and change this, that and the other. Typically speaking, keep everything in Orca Slicer on default and you are not going to go far wrong. The default settings work. That's what they're designed for. Ultimately, you know, when you get more experienced and a little bit more au fait with what you're actually doing in the slicing software, by all means go away and experiment and play. If you do that, I would recommend setting up another copy profile. So if you do make an absolute kibosh of it and it destroys the print quality, you can delete it and you've got the original to jump back to should you need to. Or if you do change value, you will see it's highlighted with this little undo button. So you can click that and it will take you back to the default setting instantly without you having to faff around and change anything. Just like that, as you saw there. So we're now back to totally default. I'll slice again just to show you. There we go. Back to the default setting, no issue whatsoever. That is pretty much a quick overview of how Z-seams work, what they are, explain, so like the start point, the end point of each layer. Ultimately, you can tweak these settings. Imagine it this way, when your nozzle stops at a point, it will ooze a little bit of filament. This will basically give you, in simple terms, a little bit of a bulge at that point because you've got surplus material. So you're trying to alleviate that bulge, minimize it as much as possible, but without then risking under extruding, which would then, instead of giving you a bump, it will give you a hole, which will obviously have a negative effect on the overall print integrity and strength. Run some tests. Simple model like a Benchy where you're going to use minimal material. It doesn't take ages to print. You can, you know, do this multiple times in a day to actually hone in your settings for your given application. And that is pretty much it for this video. As I say, we will print all of these off. We will put them on screen, label which each one is, so you guys can see for yourselves which one would suit your applications best. And obviously, picture outside the box. It isn't just applicable to a Benchy, it is applicable to every single model that you slice. Each model will be slightly different. Typically square objects, it's very easy to hide it on a corner because it's a sharp corner. Just look at your model, assess which one's going to suit you best, and before you print, obviously like I've explained, slice it. You can zoom in, look where these little white lines are, and that's going to give you a pretty good idea of where your seam line is going to be and how visible that will be. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you haven't done already, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And if you've got any questions about anything that I've mentioned in the video, or you would like any further information on, please do drop it in the comments box below and we will do our best to help you as quickly as possible. Or if you've got any suggestions or new ideas about hiding Z-seams or your own personal experiences, I'd love to hear it. That's it from me on this one. Bye-bye for now. I will see you on the next one.